folks, welcome back to another episode of Day Tripping with the Fly Guys. Okay, nothing fancy today. We are on an intel mission. We're going to gather some information. We've got a little bit of information. It's kind of a week or two old, so when you have that, you can't really have too much for expectations, but we're doing a day trip and we're bringing you with us, so let's go see what happens. What is going on, everybody? So we're on the water after quite the interesting launch. We survived. So new lake, new day, mid-September. Not really sure what's going on or what to expect. It's a super small piece of water. Got a little intel we're going off from about a week ago, so I don't know how relevant that's going to be, but we're here, we're going to give it a go, and we're bringing you along. So stay tuned and let's get after it. Okay, so we have toured the lake. Not seeing much happening. There's no hatches. Still a little early. We saw one fish move just out front of us here, and we're kind of on a drop that comes up to a weed bed. And the drop comes pretty close to that weed bed, so the fish can stay in deeper water and still feed. So we're going to just toss some staple stuff around for a little bit and kind of see what transpires. Hopefully find a fish, get a sample, and probably we'll sit here for, I mean, depending how it goes, we might sit here for half an hour, and then we'll go tour again. Don't want to miss hatches, and it's not a very big lake, so we can keep an eye on things throughout the day. Oh, and okay, or you just luck into them at the first spot that you get to.
So that's why it's worth looking around and being strategic, because you're not just then going blind, right? You're actually upping your odds. And
might be in the kiddie pool. Hey, nice catch. All right, so little guy to start the day, but we're going to see if there's a bigger fish in here, get a sample, and we'll see how the day goes. But off to a good start.
Right on. So just like last week, the fish aren't in the deep water yet. We're hoping later maybe there's a crawny hatch deeper, but right now we're fishing just off a drop off the end of these tulies. And again, just like last episode, a really good reason why you need some equipment that's, you know, a rod and line that's matched up. We got to get that. We got to get that fly to the fish without being close enough to spook the fish. So something that can punch through the wind. Kind of windy today. I don't know if you can hear it in the background. But yeah, so we're throwing out onto that bench, walking it off, hit the zone where the fish are transitioning between the deep water and the edge to feed. And bam, yeah, we've been getting them pretty steady in here so far. Oh, just missed him.
Got it.
Oh.
You little shit. Nope.
Oh, you fucker. There he is. All right. Nice sound effects.
See, that was the camera switching from angles from in front to behind you.
Pretty high tech here.
We are high tech. So here we are. I think Rob kind of just probably filled you in on what we're doing, and the action has been pretty decent. Fish are a little smaller than we were hoping for, but you don't always go on these missions and find what you're looking for.
So this,
But is that big enough to get a sample out of? Looks like it.
show them the fly. So this
You
is
got there?
the UV straggle, black with a
Where is it? Hang on, there you are.
sorry, black with an orange bead. CustomTroutFlies.ca.
I hope you're enjoying the episode of Day Trippin'. We've had some fun filming these things, and for this episode, we thought we would bring you to the vise and look at tying up one of the leech patterns that was so successful during this episode. So this is the straggle leech, and you can tie it in a variety of different colors. I've gone with this particular one. Is going to be a wine or purple almost, and gold. I would recommend having black with an orange bead, black with a chartreuse bead, olive with gold or orange, and those are probably, and then this one, I mean, those, if you've got wine, black, olive, you're pretty much set. But there's a ton of different colors of straggle, so you can, I mean, the combos are endless, but these are the ones that we would recommend for sure. So I've got a size 10 Daiichi 1760. That's a 1/8 gold tungsten bead. If you don't have tungsten, no big deal. Throw a couple wraps of like 020 lead-free wire in there, and that'll give you enough weight to get down, and it gives a decent jigging motion if you keep it up at the front there. So I am tying on a Renzetti master vise, and tools have been provided by the amazing folks at Dr. Slick. So first material I'm going to tie in, I'm using wine thread, and then I've got, this is a micro pine squirrel zonker. So I love the pine squirrel. It's got a little more kind of flair to it than just simple marabou, and it's pretty durable as well. So I just leave that that hide on there and then wrap that in with some nice tight wraps, and that is not going anywhere. So next material is the UV straggle. So you can find this at Canadian Llama, and this is the wine color like this, and it's a super easy fly to tie, so it's a good one if you're just getting into tying, or you want to bang out a bunch of stuff that doesn't take a whole bunch of time but will definitely catch you fish. Then this is the stuff. So I'm just going to wrap this up the shank, just like so. Do a couple extra wraps right at the bead, and then we can come in and just tie off that straggle, trim out the excess, and then if you want to throw some glue on your wraps, you can. If you tie these just right, your whip finishes will kind of tuck in underneath this bead, and if you just do a couple extra, these flies last a long time, which is nice because they do tend to get beat up a little bit. So that's about it. This tail is not terrible for length, but it's a little long. So I'm just going to come in here, and you see I swept those fibers up just so I don't end up with a flat tail kind of thing. So there you go, tail about the length of the body, even a little bit longer is okay. And there it is. That's the straggle leech. So again, wine and gold, black and orange, black and chartreuse, olive and orange, olive and gold. I mean, color combos are endless, but get you some of these wine ones and get you some of the black ones for sure. But that's all there is to those. Let's get back out on the water and find a few more fish. There hasn't been much in the first couple. Some small hyalella, shrimp, and that's been about it thus far. It's the time of year where they could be on a variety of different things. Nice little bowl. Bye-bye. What's you got, Rob? Oh,
So we got some little bloodworms, some tiny bits of Daphnia.
That's about it. A glassworm or two, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. So we know they're down there. We know they're looking for food.
All right. So one of us is probably going to tie on a bloodworm. I think I'm going to keep hanging this leech.
I'll tie on a bloodworm.
And we'll see you back on the next one. Okay, so we just made a move, or we're in the middle of making a move, and you can see here the bottom is super uneven. We just kind of missed it, and I want to go back over it to see if there's something to it. But this time of year, bloodworms are a thing, and they're very, very underrated in the fall. You always hear people talk about globs and leeches and that kind of thing. But bloodworms should be something that's always on your mind in this time of year. So if you pan over, you can see we've got some fish back here in this corner. Now those ones are up off the bottom, and I'd love to find those other marks just to show you guys. But when you see, you know, a hump off the bottom that looks like it's still attached to the bottom, it's likely a fish that's just sitting or rooting around in that mud or marl digging out those bloodworms. So just pay attention to that when you're cruising. Is the tiniest little bump on the bottom can often give away a decent amount of fish that are feeding on chironomid larvae. So we're going to, I think, set up in here and just see what we can come up with. So stay tuned, we might be on to something.
Okay, so that bloodworm on. Had to lengthen out the leader a bit. 20 feet of water, added 4 feet a leader, or 4 extra feet, so 24-foot leader.
First cast with that setup, wasn't it?
Yeah, they're still not big fish. We're not getting what we're looking for. But at least they're taking them, walking it through the mud, grabbing it. Brandon's still playing the leech, getting a few on the leech as well. We'll keep cycling through and hopefully we get what we're looking for.
You can see Rob has put the bobber on and the bloodworm bite kind of dried up, but I was still getting fish on the leech. So Rob has joined the leech party and things have been going all right.
A little bit of color in that guy.
Actually, he's a cool looking fish.
We'll get a picture of him.
Sure. Okay, so we're still fishing the leeches. It slowed a little bit, but it seems that if you can get your leech, twitch it, basically, is kind of what we've been doing. So, been casting out, let it sink down. They're taking it super, super soft. So sometimes you wait until you see your bobber move a little bit, but once that fly gets down to the bottom, then it's just, we've been kind of just aggressively a little bit too, like just tugging on this thing. And if you're fishing an indicator, it doesn't mean you just have to stare at it. You can walk that fly back to you, you can retrieve it, and it often will yield some results. So, see, twitch them up, catch them up.
What are you doing over here?
Well, to say it's been a day, not always what you expect, I guess. This is probably the fish of the day.
Let's see what he looks like.
So, you know, we're getting fish, which is okay. We're having to pretty much work the meat and potatoes type stuff. And this is about what we're finding. But when you do these kind of missions and these new lakes and checking things out, you don't know until you know. So, little trout ski. We're here to find info, right? I mean, we want to know what's in here. We want to know if it's worthy of coming back to in the spring. So, you know, it's not a waste. What's the worst that can happen? We catch a bunch of small fish, we knock it off our list, and we don't waste a good Chironomid day on a lake with small fish next spring.
Amen.
Well, that's another day in the books. As you can see behind me, it's still gorgeous out. It was a beautiful day. We came out here on an exploratory mission. We do that quite often. We have a ton of lakes in the Kamloops area, and that's both a blessing and a curse, because sometimes it's kind of tough to pick one, especially when you're narrowing them down. So we spend time this time of year narrowing things down. This one wasn't what we were hoping for. But that happens, and you know, for every big fish that you see us catch, we catch thousands of tiny little fish to find those ones. So today was a tiny little fish day, and unfortunately no big fish. But what it does is saves us a day next spring. We're not going to come in here, and we can spend the days that we have on more productive water. We did have lots of action. I mean, typically if you're into small fish, they're aggressive, and so that was fun. We had a little bit of a window today where we got to do the naked bloodworm thing with some fish in 22 feet. So that was a bit of a bonus. From there, it was leeches, shallow stuff. The UV straggle leech was by far the best leech of the day, and the KFC bloodworm is what we were getting them on when we were out in the deeper water. So get out there, try new water. Don't be scared to take an ass kicking. It happens to everybody. We take our share, but we'll take those days to get to the better days. So that's all I got. I hope you guys are enjoying this. This is episode 5, I think, 4 or 5, whatever that might be. They have been fun to film. Again, if you have ideas, throw them down in the comments. Let us know what you want to see. Right now we're filming mid to late September. So we've still got October, a little into November that we're going to fish the fall, and then we'll carry on with it again next spring. So put your ideas down there, smash the subscribe button. That'll you can keep up with the episodes that way, and give them a like. We need those to get the videos out there. And aside from that, that's all I got. So appreciate you watching, and until the next one, cheers and tight lines.